Hi, good afternoon. It's 12 noon and I am going to fry up one of my favorite dishes, being spinach, fresh spinach. I don't do it often because it uses a lot of water and I'm always trying to conserve water, but I'll show you, but when you can get it, it's awfully good to have. And then I'll show you how I use the water that I use to clean the spinach. So here I have salt. I'm going to fry up a few pieces of almond slices, which I love. Actually, not a few, quite a bit. A few tablespoons of almonds. I have olive oil. You can use regular oil or sesame oil. And here is my spinach. I'll also put a video on how to do this with frozen spinach. So here, if you use your frozen spinach right away, you use less water cleaning it because it's it hasn't gotten gooey yet. So I just cut off the edges. By the way, this probably cost $2 and this was $2. To me, this is a rich meal. I'm looking for gooey parts and then I'll rinse them. And I only buy these when I know I have the time to wash it right away and cook it. Because as soon as it gets gooey, then it means a lot of wash time and it means use a lot of water. And I'm always trying to conserve water. So here I'm just going through this. I just bought it yesterday, so it is about as fresh as it can be. So when I talk about gooey parts, I really mean parts like that you wouldn't want to cook up. So I'll put that aside. This has hardly no gooey parts. I happen to know this grocer really well, and so I happen to know that this doesn't have a lot of sand in it. There's some gooey. And the way I wash it, I have a pan here that's gathering the water. I'll run it through. And then I have this salad rinser. I'll use this to drain the water. So as I wash it, I put it in this drain right next door so I can drain it and then put it into this pan. The pan here is a Teflon pan, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I really believe in decent Teflon. If you have decent Teflon, it reduces your oil intake tremendously. So that's just a really great benefit. And for this, I'm going to use about a tablespoon of oil, even a little less, and I'm going to drop a little oil in there, which is where I'm going to start my almond slices cooking up. And they're just going to be until they're brown, and then they'll just sit there and wait until so that's 2 or 3 tablespoons. It's really, really to taste. But if you're a vegan and you're not spending money on a lot of other things, you can really indulge in a lot of nuts, which are extremely good for you. They provide a lot of protein, and they just add a lot of pizzazz to meals. If you're tired of the Indian taste or the Italian taste or the Chinese taste that we so often get, just adding nuts really, without anything else, really makes things good. So this is just going to be cooking on low while I wash this. And I just want you to see how I wash it, and then I'll turn off the camera. here, I'm going through it, and as I said, it's in a pot. When this pot fills up, the water in it fills up, I will transfer it to a garden bucket, which is where I'll put it outside. So it's not going down my drain. If you're in a, what do you call that, a drought state. To me, when I'm in a drought state, some of the first things to go are these vegetables that I love, because you have to use a lot of water to clean them. This is the one area where I really splurge on water, which is to clean these leafy green vegetables. The amount of water you have to have running through depends on how sandy it is. As I said, I happen to know this vendor, and their spinach is not sandy. Some are very sandy, so you really have to spend a lot more water. You'll rarely see me just running water like this. But it's a must with your salads and anything, the leafy greens. You really do have to wash them well. I'll spin this dry in a minute. But before I do that, I want to show you how I transfer. So here's my bucket, my watering bucket from outside. There. Take that out. It's not, I'll empty it out later, and I'll show you what that looks like. These pieces are all really still good. And I'll salt to taste later. Spinach sometimes has a salty taste to it, and I don't know why. Because they're a little expensive, and you can splurge diet-wise. Or fat content-wise. So this here, as you see, I have some more water, and I just stick it in my. I forgot. I always use a little red pepper, so I'll use 2 of those. Again, it's to taste. You decide what you want to do. So this is really becoming nice and warm. And I don't care for my spinach long. Throw it on the grill, although you're getting pretty close to it. Just move that around a little bit. And it'll start to wilt. And while that's going, I'm going to wash my other bunch. And it's 12-10. Just cutting off the edges. It's 12-11, and I'm going to turn off the film right now. So it's 12-13. And I'm just starting to turn this. Okay, there's nothing very unusual. So this is going to keep cooking. Here's my other bushel of spinach that I'm going to wash, and then when this is done, I'll fry this up. Okay, it's 12:18. Okay, so we're going to finish up. It's 12:26, and I took a little extra time to write this down, what we have. We started at 12 with spinach, 2 bunches of spinach. We used some sliced almonds that I keep in my fridge, 2 tablespoons of oil, salt to taste, red chilies are optional, and of course any seasonings that you love should be part of this. And then a pan to capture water and a bucket to take the water to the plants. Those are necessities for me. I'm not even going to add salt right now. I'm going to leave that to the table. This is my favorite vegan cheese. I love Parmesan cheese, and so I happen to use this a lot, and I love it. So I just wanted to show you that. Again, that's optional. So at this time, I'm just going to move this back, and now I'll take the almonds that have cooked. Use a lot of nuts to make your food. And now I'll serve it like this. And that took about 28 minutes. I will also show you a link to doing this with plain frozen spinach. Here it is, all in one bowl. And here's the recipe. So this meal is fried or sautéed fresh spinach. It takes about 28 minutes to do, and that includes washing the spinach. 2 bunches of spinach, some sliced almonds, about 4 tablespoons is what I used. You can use as much as you like. About 2 tablespoons of oil, and that would be any kind of oil. I happen to use olive oil, but I also like plain vegetable oil and corn oil. And salt to taste. Red chilies are optional, as are garlic, if you like garlic, ginger, soy sauce, on and on. And then the other thing I always use is I wash my spinach in a pan to capture the water. Then I move the water to a bucket that I take outside to water my plants. And this meal, which I consider a very rich meal because it's fresh and it took a lot of work to do. So this is just a follow-up to show you that I really do use this water. I use my bird bath. They love water. They love clean bird baths. And you'd be surprised how they just come very quickly. So this water that otherwise would have just gone down the drain will be used out here in the yard. There's some of these. And I'll move those to